Welcome to the Prime Systems Academy podcast, a place where we break down the power behind the power. Whether you're starting your journey in electrical systems or you're already working around high voltage gear, this is your guide to the tech, the trends, and the future of energy. What if I told you one executive order could unlock the next generation of American power, quadrupling nuclear energy, reshaping our grid, and creating thousands of jobs in electrical field? That's exactly what just happened. Let's talk about it. Today we're talking about what two of the biggest forces shaping our future: artificial intelligence and nuclear power. These topics may sound like they belong in a sci-fi movie, but they're very real. They're converging in ways that will impact the power industry for decades. AI is changing everything, but at what cost? So let's start with what's happening right now. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is everywhere. It's diagnosing diseases, writing code, and even managing traffic. But here's the part that doesn't make headlines. AI eats electricity like crazy. Training one large AI model, think of tools like ChatGPT or DALL-E, can take thousands of high-powered GPUs running for weeks, sometimes months. Just training GPT-3 reportedly uses over 1,200 megawatt hours of energy. That's enough to power about 100 US homes for a year. But that's just training. Once these models go live, processing user prompts, helping businesses with predictions, that's called inference. Inference can use even more power over time. One AI request can use up to 100 times the electricity of Google search. And we're not just talking about power, we're also talking about water. Data centers that house AI systems use enormous amounts of water to keep equipment cool. The average data center uses 1.7 liters of water per kilowatt hour. Put that in perspective, the more AI we use, the more we stress not just the grid, but the entire water systems that keep data centers online. So why can't the grid keep up? You've got artificial intelligence growing at an insane pace. AI is now behind everything from chatbots to robotics, logistics to medical imaging. It's the brain power driving the next generation of tech, and it's always on. But here's the question nobody wants to ask. Where does all that energy come from? Let me give you a mental image. Imagine AI as a brand new city, one that sprang up overnight. But this isn't your average town. This city never sleeps. Its factories run 24/7. The lights are always on. The servers never shut down. And the moment the power flickers, the entire operation grinds to a halt. Now imagine trying to power that city with a system that was never designed for it. A system built decades ago for a world with light bulbs, toasters, and radios, not data centers and autonomous robotics. That's where we are right now. The U.S. grid is one of the most complex systems ever built. It's made up of generation stations, transformers, substations, high voltage lines, and distribution networks. And while it's incredible, it's also old. Parts of the grid date back to the 1950s. It was built for a world of TVs and air conditioners, not crypto farms, supercomputers, and self-driving truck depots. On top of that, it wasn't designed to support sudden, location-specific spikes in demand. AI workloads aren't evenly spread out. They're clustered, mostly around major data hubs in urban tech corridors. That means we're dealing with local strain, not just national shortages. Entire regions are now running up against bottlenecks in both generation and transmission capacity. Now don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of renewables. Solar and wind are essential for our clean energy goals, but here's the problem. They're intermittent. The sun goes down, the wind stops blowing, and if you're trying to run a data center or hospital, you can't afford those gaps. People often say, just store the extra power in batteries, but large-scale battery systems are still widely expensive, and they degrade over time. Even the best battery setups today can only power a facility for a few hours, not days. So while solar and wind are fantastic contributors, they can't be your foundation if you need round-the-clock reliability. So this brings us to a critical term, dispatchable energy. If you're new to the field, let me break it down. Dispatchable energy means electricity that can be generated on demand whenever it's needed. Unlike solar or wind, dispatchable sources don't rely on the weather. They're controlled, predictable, and reliable. Think of it like a water faucet. When you turn it on, water flows. When you turn it off, it stops. You don't have to wait for rain to fill the sink. In energy terms, dispatchable sources are the always available backbone of any stable grid. So what counts as dispatchable? Got natural gas, which is fast ramping and widely available but comes with carbon emissions. You got coal, it's dispatchable but dirty and increasingly obsolete. You have hydropower, it's very clean but geographically limited and seasonal. And then there's nuclear, dispatchable, ultra low carbon, and extremely energy dense. Here's where things get interesting. AI, data centers, and high-performance computing are non-stop operations. They don't pause when power gets expensive. In fact, many run load-balanced operations across time zones to stay active 24/7. That means the demand curve isn't just growing, it's flattening into a plateau of constant high use. Now layer that on top of aging grid infrastructure, unpredictable renewable inputs, long permitting processes for new transmission lines, and growing share of electrified transportation and heating, and you've got a recipe for strain, instability, and blackouts. We're already seeing this in places like California and Texas. Rolling blackouts, demand response alerts, and brownouts are becoming more common, even before AI goes fully mainstream. Now imagine adding AI scale loads to the mix. What then? This is why more and more engineers,